Listen, a woman cannot blame a man for her inability to be soft. If a woman struggles to be soft spoken, loving, and affectionate towards a man, there's something within her that's wrong. A man can't make you be mean, and you shouldn't be where you can't be nice at. Just like a man can't make you show up in your feminine. If it doesn't excite you to hype him up and it doesn't turn you on to make him feel good, then stop wasting that man's time. It'd be so easy for y'all to hype up the girls. I'm convinced y'all just like girls because you should be on that man's body. Women who show appreciation are getting way further than the entitled women. The entitled women are setting themselves up to be the old cat lady because men are no longer putting up with women who think that they owe you. Most men are so simple, so the way that you treat him will always matter more than what you think you're bringing to the table, whether that be your finances, your education, your cooking and cleaning skills. None of that can compare to treating that man right. So you can lose your man to a woman with no job, no education, no cooking or cleaning skills because she's got listening skills. She knows how to speak to him kindly, softly. She initiates the sex. She shows him he is desired, and she uplifts that man on a daily basis without him asking. You understand? Why wouldn't he choose her? No, we need to talk about how if a man is trying to push you to improve, that is not an attack. That's love. He's warning you. He's giving you an opportunity to fix some shit before he leave your ass. You can't expect a confident man to chase you. Men who value themselves don't chase. They attract what they want. So if you're not showing mutual interest and effort, you will fumble that man. If you want a man to chase you, you're going to have to find a man who is not aligned, not focused, not secure. A man you can control because you're not ready for a leader. A man can't lead you if he's chasing behind you. Y'all still ain't realize men are waking up. They're saying goodbye to the, well, that's your job and that's what you're supposed to do type of bitch. And they're saying hello to the, thank you so much, babe. Come here. Let me thank you type of woman. I see a lot of women forgot that whatever you're not fulfilling, another woman is willing. You will lose your man if you don't know how to cater to him, and he ain't gotta cheat. He's gonna leave. Men want to be loved in their love language. So if a woman wants to keep and satisfy a man, she has to make it her business to figure out what that man wants and needs. The same way that they're trying to figure that out, we're supposed to be doing the same. I don't know who told women that only women deserve to be catered to, but that is not the case. Ladies, don't let another woman be the first one to compliment your man. There shouldn't be no one more thirsty over your man than you. You will fumble that man if you're quick to correct him, but slow to celebrate him. He does the right thing all day, every day, and you never show him appreciation. But the moment he does something wrong, you want to talk about it? Baby, your time is limited. If she's not catering to you, then she don't like you enough because I don't want my man to move. Like, baby, what are you doing? It looks like you're about to go grab a napkin. No. A man shouldn't have to show a woman how to show up. Just like a woman doesn't show a man how to protect and provide. This is supposed to be in our nature. This should be a natural thing.
I love the way he speaks. I love the way he thinks. I love the way that he treats his mama. I love that gap in between his teeth. I love him in every way that a woman can love a man. From personal to universal, but most of all, it's unconditional. And that's the way I feel. There ain't no substitute for the truth. Either it is or it isn't. You see, the truth, it needs no proof.
All right, wow. So first and foremost, want to give our praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Ruach HaKodesh. Double honor to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well, and peace, blessings, and safety to the Lord's elect. All right, Brother Yeshaya. Now, this video is going to be this video that I saw earlier. This woman right here, uh, hey, gorgeous, beautiful woman, and she would be looked at as a pick me. Okay, she would be looked at as a pick me if certain other women was to, dissect this video or listen to the video, but really she's just stepping into her feminine energy, how they say, or the feminine nature. Okay, and I rather use the word nature because it's more natural. Okay, nature and natural, that's the root word. So they're stepping back into their natural way. Okay, how Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shah set them up to be a helpmeet. Okay, when you go to the book of Genesis, the third chapter. All right. So yeah, nice video. But hey, and ain't no telling. She has makeup on and everything like that. She could just be playing a role, but just to she was saying the right things. I ain't gonna lie to you. So whether it was just cap, or I mean, it's still a breath of fresh air to hear it come from a woman. All right, because we're so beat down, in this day and age, and especially as men that are coming back to the ways, laws, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai to ultimately be fulfilled in the second covenant, but we're rehearsing the righteous acts in the meantime. It's still a breath of fresh air, man. Call Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, and that's what's to come. So we're gonna get into the scriptures. All right, we're gonna go to the book of Romans, chapter 15. Had to snap myself up out of it. She kind of had me wooed. All right, Romans 15:4. For whatsoever things are written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and the comfort of the scriptures might have hope. So all of these things, the Lord has everything. That's why an acronym that, people like to use, or you know, the acronym of the Bible, basic instructions before leaving earth. So whether you're privy to the fact or not, all right, the scriptures detail everything and plus more. Okay, when you go into the wisdom of Solomon, you go into Ecclesiasticus, okay, which is in the Apocrypha, which is a part of the whole 80 books. Okay, that we have available to us, or the Lord made available to us. Hey, we have everything to live a somewhat decent life, man. All right, even in these times, okay? And that's where, this grace and mercy period comes in, but it's not to, focus on that. All right. So we'll make another lesson for another time with that, because that's a whole different subject within itself. 2 Timothy chapter 3 and verse 16. All scripture is given by inspiration of Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, and is profitable for doctrine, for reproof, for correction, for instruction in righteousness. All right. So, and this is going to be, pretty much dedicated to you women. All right. Because if you were, and that's the importance of having a man and, or, being blessed with a man of the Lord to be able to teach you the scriptures correctly. All right. And hey, we're going back to the Sirach 26 type of woman, Proverbs 31, which I'm gonna bring up later. But Sirach 26 is very meaty when it comes to the characteristics of a woman that you want to keep in your house, man, and not keep in your house. So I'm gonna skip through it, skip here and there with this. Sirach 26 and 1, blessed is the man that hath a virtuous wife, for the number of his days shall be double. A virtuous woman rejoiceth for her husband, and he shall fulfill the years of his life in peace. And that last little part by her, she was rejoicing her husband, singing, okay, singing to him. Okay, it says, keep not her company with that of a singer. But hey, she's righteous, man. Because our women, they sing. Mary had her solo in in the song of Moses. So she was blowing Aretha Franklin, Whitney Houston, all of them in one, man. But anyway, yeah. See, I love the way he thinks. I love. See, that's cool. Okay, and we're coming back to that type of woman, man. So let's uh actually let me go ahead and get that. All right, now let's might use that for the thumbnail. All right. Uh, 3, a good wife is a good portion which shall be given in the portion of them that fear the Lord. So if you've, of course, it's been some brothers that, I believe that are brothers that have been through hell and back with women, and that just isn't my my walk. But if that woman really has beaten you down to the point where you're slacking on your faith and you're losing faith because of her, man, hey, that's just a test. You got to get her up out of there. But the Lord tells you that if a woman goes not that the way that you want her to go, write her a bill of divorce. But a lot of brothers hang on for dear life to relationships. But if it's in coming in between, your connection with Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, the Lord's gonna find her, get her out of there anyway. So it doesn't even matter. But anyway, um whether a man be poor, rich or poor, if he have a good heart toward the Lord, he shall at all times rejoice with a cheerful countenance. So yeah, let's see. It talks about evil wife, the whoredom of women. Verse 14. Slaki, verse 13. The grace of a wife delighteth her husband, and her discretion will fatten his bones. So if you have because a woman is supposed to be a piece, man. Like I said, a woman is supposed to be a helpmeet. All right. Let's see. Yep. This is Genesis 2:18. And the Lord Yahweh said, "It is not good that the man shall be alone. I will make him an help meet for him." Okay. So let's see. So and yeah, and that helpmeet, okay, is the woman. And the Lord Yahweh caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam, and he slept, and he took one of his ribs and closed up the flesh instead thereof. And the rib, right, which is not an actual rib, because you will be missing one to this day, correct? It goes into something else, which the Lord Yahweh had taken from man, made he a woman and brought her unto the man. And Adam said, "This is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh, and she shall be called woman because she was taken out of man. Therefore shall a man leave his father and mother and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh." So that's the covenant right there, and it's a beautiful thing. All right. But as a punishment, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua had took that away from us. All right. Had our women, uh, basically, like the scriptures say, your desire would be to your husband. Okay. And let's see what that is, because that's a curse within itself. That doesn't mean that they're gonna desire us. No, that means that here it is. Genesis 3:16. Now I got to get this in the blue letter. All right, to bring it home. Uh, Genesis 3:16. And it reads, "Unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee." Now in the NLT it says, "Then he said to the woman, I will sharpen the pain of your pregnancy, and in pain you will give birth, and you will desire to control your husband, but he will rule over you." So there goes that, dynamic now of husband and wife, okay, that E set up, man. All right, but we're going back, and there's certain glimpse that we can see, of the Lord bringing the true nature of women back, true femininity, man, and certain glimpses of you elect women out there, right? So yeah, let me go back to Sirach 26. Let me see if I uh yeah. Verse 14, "A silent and loving woman is a gift of the Lord, and there is nothing so much worth as a mind well instructed. A shamefaced and faithful woman is a double grace, and her constant in mind cannot be valued." So if you have a really, and I mean, it's impossible to have them over this side, but the Lord to get you close to it, as possible. So just, thank the Lord for it and work with her, because, she's not going to be perfect. But if the Lord, bless, she's pleased to dwell with you. She's not an adulterer. She's, somewhat quiet, because these these e-dubs, they yeah, like Elder Hawad calling them e-dubs. Yeah, they all been raised pretty much the same way. Okay, they had the same origin. All right, and that same cycle. But hey, that's what we're here for, to really put women in their place and actually lead them. Okay, it says, "And there is nothing so much worth as a mind well instructed." So that's from a what? A man of the Lord. All right, because Yahweh Bashem Yahushua governs that man that is under him, and he will govern his household in the ways of the Lord. All right. So yeah. Okay, and it goes into a shameless woman, dishonest woman. All right, so yeah, let's move on to the book of Deuteronomy. All right, chapter 28 and verse 56. All right, because this is how our women were, man. Deuteronomy 28 and 56: "The tender and delicate woman among you, which would not adventure to sit to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness, her eye shall be evil toward the husband of her bosom, and toward her son, and toward her daughter." So, man, and growing up in the hood, in the ghetto, man, you'll see, Tasha, she'll race you barefoot in the street, man. Okay, so to turn the things upside down shall be esteemed as potter's clay, man. This is all gonna be broken up. All right. and shaped back to what it's supposed to be, or just broken it in. We're gonna and the Lord just gonna have to start over new, and that's the kingdom of heaven. All right, that's the house of David. That is the 144,000 men that John the Baptist saw adorned for their husband. Okay, Hawashai. All right, and to be the governing body on earth, the house of David. Okay, the throne of David, the throne of David. Right, it's like the throne of David. So yeah, man. And these women are always talking about a Proverbs 31 woman, but they're so far from it. They don't even read into it. Okay. Proverbs 31. And let's see. Uh verse 10. Who can find a virtuous woman? For her price is far above rubies. So there you go. And like I said, if the Lord has blessed you with a certain situation, and it's cool, and it's not too stressful, because like Paul said, you will have trouble in the flesh. All right, dealing with women. Okay, no matter what, you are not. And I'm telling you from experience, you are not exempt from it, my friend. All right, it's gonna one way or another, affect you. But as long as it's not taken away from you being conductive or productive. It's like a productive to the business of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah, and it's yeah, and it's not depleting you spiritually. Yeah, just do your best to work with it. You know what I'm saying? We Jake, we know how to make certain situations work. If feasible. The heart of her husband doth safely trust in her, so that he shall have no need of spoil. And you can't do that with these women nowadays, man. You gotta have one eye open, because they're wanting. Okay, they say if you leave her alone, they'll go, hopping and landing on every cucumber in the garden. You know what that means? Every arrow, right? So yeah, man. A Proverbs 31. She would do him good and not evil all the days of her life. Okay, she knows how to work. She seeketh wool and flax and worketh willingly with her hands. And a lot of these women don't know how to sew or knit. Okay, she is like the merchant ship. She bringeth her food from afar. She riseth also while it is yet night, and giveth meat to her husband and a portion to her maiden. So, if you want to go through this, man, this Proverbs 31 woman is the prototype, or the handbook. Okay. And I guarantee you, you women will start reading this and you can't even begin to stomach it, because this is opposite of what, the modern woman has been set up to be. And it's not y'all's fault. Okay. But hey, it is what it is, man. But oh man, it's beautiful, Let me read a couple more. She considered fulfill and buyeth it with the fruit of her hands. She planted a vineyard. All right. She know how to plant. All right. She girded her loins with strength and strengthening her arms. She perceiveth that her merchandise is good. Her candle goeth not out by night. She layeth her hands to the spindle, and her hands hold the distaff. She stretches out her hand to the poor. Yea, she reaches forth her hands to the needy. She is not afraid of the snow for her household, for all her household are clothed with scarlet. She maketh herself coverings of tapestry. Her clothing is silk and purple. Her husband is known in the gates, and he sitteth among the elders in the land. She maketh fine linen and selleth it, and uh, delivereth girdles unto the merchant. Strength and honor are her clothing, and she shall rejoice in time to come. Okay. She opened her mouth with wisdom, and in her tongue is the law of kindness. And we don't have that, man. That will end up will curse you the mess out, man. All right. So yeah, just wanted to go through there. So Proverbs 31 is great to go into. All right. Um, Titus 2 and 3. The aged women likewise, that they be in behavior has become holiness, not false accusers, not given to much wine, but teachers of good things, that they may teach the young women to be sober, to love their husbands, to love their children, to be discreet, chaste, keepers at home, good, obedient to their husbands, that the word of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah be not blasphemed. Okay, so ultimately a woman, okay, in her mind state, or the overall, condition of a nation's women, especially in our case, being Yasharala, all right, the chosen nation of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah. If you will look at the state of their women, you will determine the state of the men. Okay. And right now, our women are totally out of order, but hey, they're getting back together, all right, slowly but surely. All right. And the Lord is going to, when he cracks those clouds, man. All right, contrary to unpopular belief, everything will be made right, and that's what we're waiting on. And just a couple precepts, um, showing that the men are the prize, man, and showing that Yahweh Bashem Yahushua only deals with the men. That the men are the prize, so to say. Isaiah 13 and verse 12. And I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir. So a man of the Lord is going to be more precious than fine gold, man. All right. So you already know, hey, women, you got to pray. And whoever y'all are meant for, the Lord will set it up. All right, Isaiah 4 and 1, in that day 7 men shall take hold of one man. Salaki. In that day, Salaki, that was crazy. In that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. In that day shall the branch of the Lord be beautiful and glorious, and the fruit of the earth shall be excellent and comely for them that are escaped of Israel. So, hey, the blessed women are going to link up with the blessed men in that time, and that blessed man is going to be a safeguard, okay? A cover, a cover from the storm, all right, a cover from the tempest. Like the scriptures say, a man shall be a hiding place from the wind, which represents destruction. So, Lord willing, that was edifying. Okay, I'm gonna end it with that. I want to give our praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahushai, Ba'Hashem, Rakahakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders of Great Millstone, and peace, blessings, and safety to the Lord's elect. Shalom.